just check that we are now live on my Instagram. Yes, we are. So,
Can you hear that?
yeah. Kyle wasn't going to the toilet, by the way, guys. He was just refilling his bottle of water.
Yeah, got to stay hydrated.
Welcome to episode 19 of Crypto Waffle. Today's topics are bull market, do or die, money mindset, and whale hunting. So let's kick it off with the bull market, do or die. We are, what I believe, at a pivotable
No,
stage.
pivotal.
That's it, pivotal stage in the markets where we are at a do or die scenario. There's a lot of posts on X and Instagram saying, is this bull run done? It's too early. The bull run was done last month. There's lots of conflicting views on it. Where do you think we stand on this?
I think we do get a second bite at the cherry. I think that we get a H2, they call it, second half of the year from June onwards, where we have a.
So you reckon from June? So do you reckon from until now till June we could chop?
I'm hoping that we have one last clear out, one last real deep clear out down to like 70 or something like that, and then we're at the races. That's what I'm hoping for, because I'm not in at the moment, so I need cheap prices to buy at. So I'm hoping that we get a 70k Bitcoin and all the alts get smashed one last time, and then we go flying.
So do you think there's a possibility that flush out you're looking for is maybe this week on FOMC or March options expiry?
I don't know. I don't know that we're actually following news now. I don't know if the market's just doing what it wants when it wants, kind of thing. We could have any kind of insane bit of news come out, or something crazy that Trump could decide to do that could push the markets lower. So I doubt it would be scheduled news that will push us. I can't see that happening, because we kind of know where we stand. It's highly unlikely that we get really surprising numbers. I think the real volatility comes from whatever Trump decides to do or not do, or any other geopolitics, but mainly from him. I think that's what the TradFi markets are worried about, are waiting on. That's where the uncertainty is coming from, and you just can't plan for it. So the problem is, Trump may do something crazy in September. We may start our run, and then Trump may come out and do something crazy in September, and then that's the end of that. So I guess it's just a wait and see situation.
Yeah. I mean, I'm of the opinion that we should see a bottom, or the bottom in, by the end of March, and then we rally until the end of Q2. So however high we get to in the end of that April, May, June period is, I think, might be potentially the last hurrah. Because after that, I can't see us having anything else. One, because I think the generic time is just running out.
Yeah.
We haven't got a lot of time left, and if it's going to move, it needs to be soon. But one sort of thesis that I'm starting to build is that we have maybe this run into Q2, then we see a bigger, sharper correction at the start of Q3, potentially Q4. Okay, short, sharp bear market for about 9 months, so it's the end of Q1 26, and then a rally out all the way until 28.
Oh, so no bear market.
No bear market as we know it. Now, the only thing that makes me think that is that good old chart that we look at of their debt spiraling out of control.
Yeah.
That's the only chart. Well, it's the only chart that I'm trying to build some sort of thesis around.
So
that's what I'm thinking.
So every can you hear my son shouting, by the way?
Yeah.
I'm just going to close this door. I made the massive mistake of getting him into WWE, and now he's just jumping up and down and suplexing everybody, and it's insane. My house is now like some sort of
Training
WWE.
ground.
That's crazy. So, what was we saying? I was going to say something along the lines of this time it's different. Every other cycle, we've always felt like, for good reason, this time it's different. And now it feels like, again, for good reason, this time it's different. And every other cycle before, it's not been different. But I do think that sooner or later there will be a cycle when it is in fact different, because now we've got institutions in. I guess for the second cycle they were just getting in the first cycle, but they didn't quite have ETFs. Now we've got nation states, and a lot more TradFi companies holding Bitcoin on their balance sheets. I feel like this time it could be different, and I think we end up with possibly less of a bull market and no bear market, because if we don't complete our bull market, we've got nothing to start a bear market with. Like, what we're going to have a bear market with when we're still here? We need to have silly season to have a silly correction.
Yeah, I mean, the other thesis that I've thought of as well is that maybe this run that we're in is just elongated, so we go out into early 26 Q1. So maybe we don't have this. We have this short, sharp correction, but for whatever reason we'll cause QE, because if you look at some of Michael Howe's recent work, I think I actually. Let me share my screen. I bookmarked one of the posts on X. Where are we? Can you see Twitter?
Yep.
So this one here. So we are at the beginning of a new liquidity cycle, or midway through. Now that would suggest, or looking at this chart here, this peaks just before the end of 2025, or early 26. Now obviously if we are to follow liquidity like we have done, that would suggest that this cycle is no different, and we just end Q4 this year, and then go into the standard bear market of 26, and that's that. And that's kind of the scenarios. I mean, how that would look on the BTC chart is you probably see a rally to new all-time highs by April, end of April, early May, something like that. Then a bit of summer chop, so Q3, Q4, drift back in maybe to low hundreds, 100k, and then a final blow off towards the end of the year, Q4 2025, before ultimately bear market in 2026. Then the end of 2026 and start of 2027, just accumulation, some sort of bottom before up again.
Yeah.
That's how I think that your traditional cycle would look.
Yep.
The struggle for me is if we don't see, I believe, in this next run in Q2, if we don't see substantial new highs, so I'm talking 115 to 120 in Bitcoin, I think we could be in for a stunted cycle again. And we just get up to maybe the standard where we've been, 110, then we dump. So I'm kind of keeping my options open here. Trying to be prepared for all levels. So one thing I have said actually is, on this rally back up here, to prepare for this scenario, the majority of the stuff I've been buying in this dip, I will look to get out between the 90 to 110k range, on the basis that we may have a slightly stunted cycle or something happen. So that way, if that happens, because at the moment, to be honest, you're just risk managing your own portfolio, aren't you, realistically? So if that happens, you have some capital that you've sold in here to buy a dip here. If that doesn't work and we rally and then we have that dip in Q3, then you can use that money to buy the dip in Q3 for the final blow off in Q4. So it's just using your portfolio as a mechanism for you to basically prepare yourselves for the worst going forward.
It's a difficult one. I think if we do have a stunted cycle, is that a stunted BTC cycle? Do we still see alt season? Because we haven't seen
Well,
any alt
it's
season
actually
yet.
you funny you say that. So let me share this chart with you. Now this is so we know the ISM chart, which we have looked at before. That is this one here, this one. So we know when the ISM is above 50, we normally get alt season effectively. And
Yep.
that's what you can see here. These impulses in ISM is when typically alt season has happened. Now the ISM has only just ticked above 50, which means we are very early days in this business cycle. I reckon the business cycle tops out between 55 to 60. I think that's quite conservative. I think it'll probably be the lower end, maybe 55 to 58. So it'll be slightly stunted, maybe like back here in 14 and 2010. Then we also have this chart within crypto, which also indicates at alt season, we have the Bitcoin dominance chart. So what I am looking at here is a break of this, what I am classing as bull flag, gives us a target of around the 63.88% area. Now this wick we created in February the 3rd, so the first early days of February, we had that big liquidation event. Bitcoin dominance topped out at 64.34%. I think on a break of this, whatever causes this, I don't know, we then look to play a double top. Okay, a double top is a reversal pattern. If that is then to play out, the neckline you'd be looking for it to break is around this 60% level. So a double top from there, obviously, first of all, you'd need it to come up here, hit that area, get rejected, and then come down. And if it is to break that 60% area, you're looking at a fall to around 56%. I believe that could signify alt season. Then you also have a USDT dominance, and this has been perfectly respecting this downtrending line of resistance at the moment. You can see currently this has just ended up being a fake out on smaller time frames. Now if we went to the daily, you can see on the smaller time frame that was a lovely fake out, and what you normally see after a fake out, an extended move in the opposite direction. So we'd be looking for this to continue its downfall. If you do go out to the monthly, you can see USDT is in a series of lower highs at the minute and lower lows. So we just need USDT to roll over again, create a new low, have a quick bounce, probably into this area again, rejected into this area that I'm interested in at around the 2%. So that's how you kind of add all the macro framework together: ISM, Bitcoin dominance, USDT dominance. So I do think we are nearing that altcoin rally.
So, with regards to the USDT and like some fundamentals that I guess we can say go with it is the Americans are talking a lot, not just the Americans, everyone's talking a lot about stable coins, about implementing their own stable coin. Now, there's not much chance that the Americans are going to, what shall I say, endorse USDT.
No.
It's highly unlikely. More than likely they'll endorse USDC or something else. But more than likely it'll be USDC. Now, if they do endorse USDC, that will give USDC a massive leg up, and it will be not necessarily the nail in the coffin for USDT, but it will mean that USDT is for others and USDC is for most of the TradFi and institutional money. I think that will also have a hand in pushing down USDT's market dominance or their market share. So I think
they've been getting removed from some of the European exchanges, haven't they, as well?
Yeah, and I think that's on account of that nobody's been able to audit them correctly ever. So, with that being said, there's a lot of headwinds for USDT. So, I think we could see
play a part of it.
Yeah, I think we could see. Could see those changes. Okay, so if we do have a an alt season and the alt season is coming soon, what do we buy? Let's say we are right and there's more chance that we're going to have an alt season than we're not, and there's more chance that we're near the bottom than we're not. Even if we have a stunted season, what do we buy?
I think you buy the ones that
Hold on
have
a second.
shown
Let me out and close the door, please. It's too loud.
strength. So you'd want to be looking for narratives or assets that fit TradFi / traditional or old headlines that have been coming up this year. So the ones that spring to mind are AI. You'd be looking at meme coins. You'd be looking at RWAs. You'd be looking at DePIN, and possibly even DeFi. Or you play the other end of that spectrum and you go for the ones that no one's talked about. Main one being ETH, and everyone thinking ETH is dead. Because if everyone thinks ETH is dead, then all of a sudden it starts moving its arse again. What's going to happen? Everyone's going to flow back into ETH.
Yeah.
So you could be looking to play ETH betas. Now, within that, you can look at ETH memes. You could look at RWAs built on ETH. You could look at DePIN built on ETH. You could look at all these things that are built on top of ETH. But a couple that stick out for me, just generic AI plays. You're looking at like near render, stuff like that. So that's kind of like, rather than buying the actual AI things themselves, like AI 16Z and ARC, you buy what they're on. So be it Solana, near, and stuff like that. And then again, I'm playing memes still, so I'll be picking some of the bigger memes. And I still go back to this chart every time, and I'm going to show it again because I love it so much, is the Doge Bitcoin chart. It is a thing of beauty. Is it this one here? That's Doge Turbo. Where are we? Doge BTC, there we go. Look at that. So if this monthly candle of March is to close above this descending line, that is a perfect retest. Then what should you see next? Boom. All-time highs. I think you see in this Doge Bitcoin chart. So,
Doge is always the start of alt season. Always.
yeah. So that is what I'd be watching.
Okay, so the charts are saying this. We've bottomed. As far as altcoins are concerned, Doge is going to lead the way as it always does. That will happen in the next 2 weeks. 2 weeks time, Doge goes on a mission, and then all the other altcoins, they all follow Doge, and we all live happily ever after.
Yeah. I mean, another one that I was looking at today, Pepe has an inverse head and shoulders on the 4 hour, which is typically a bottoming pattern. Now, again, I think there's a very fine line between bottoming soon and already bottomed.
Okay.
So some assets, the likes of maybe AI16, the ARC, off the top of my head look like they've bottomed. I don't think they're coming back lower.
Yeah.
But on other assets, I think there's a chance we could get one more nuke. But I'm not betting on that. I'm pretty much into all of my positions that I wanted to be in. At decent levels that I'm happy with. Now, does it go lower? Possibly. I've got some stink bids down there if it happens. If it doesn't, I don't really care. We can rally. So I think people, especially some people I've been talking to, they're getting too concerned with where they're buying. I mean, stuff's already at a 40+% discount. Like, for God's sake, just buy it if you think it's going up.
Yeah.
I don't try and play that game of, oh, it's going to be another 10%, oh, it's going to be another 15%. But unless you're spending all day looking at this stuff, it's not worth your time.
Yeah.
For the sake of you could be risking a 20% downside move for 5 to 6x upside. That to me is not worth it at all.
Yeah. How do you feel about SPX 6900? Has it left your radar?
It hasn't left my radar, but I will share my screen on it.
It's one of those ones that, for me, it feels like it can't die now. It's gonna be.
No, I think it stays around.
Yeah.
So SPX, it's had this perfect McDonald's top that we called on the Crypto Waffle. It broke down, hit target, used this support area, created this wedge, broke down, hit the target of that wedge, hit this area of support, and that obviously you can see has since come down to around that low there, which actually coincides with some highs over here, which I'm sure if you went to the 4 hour, then you drag yourself along, you can see that confluence here. So SPX looks like it's probably bottomed. I don't see this coming all the way back down here again. I mean, another 30%, I don't see that happening, unless obviously there's some big news or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Jay Powell comes out saying no QE until Q4 or whatever it is, or QE is off the table, anything like that, then I think you could maybe see that. But ultimately, I think he's just going to come out this month and it'll be kind of a nothing burger. And he'll just say, we're relying on data, and that will kind of be it.
I think he's generally kicking the can over to Trump, isn't he? He's
Yeah.
generally saying we don't have enough information to do any forward planning or forward guidance because we don't know what this man's doing. So
Yeah, but SPX, I think it's a good buy here, because your downside to me is maybe at worst another 30%. Then your upside from here is you're talking 3x,
yeah,
if not more. So to me, here is a great buy. Obviously, not financial advice. It was a better buy down here if you were paying attention at the time.
yeah.
But it happens.
I'll tell you what. Show us AI16Z because you had said your target for it was 15 cents, and you said that when we was all the way up at I don't know 80 odd or whatever it was.
We tagged 1628.
Yeah, we literally just kissed the buy box.
Yeah, that buy box there. I mean, I've been adding anyway, just because I always kind of front run myself, if that makes sense. Just because you never know what happens in this stuff. I mean, this to me looks like blatant forced selling. That's very structured. It's not like, I mean, this again here, you could say was it. It's not what I'd class as standard market procedure.
Okay.
But I'm not going to complain about it because I've been buying at lower prices. Obviously, if this thing is to reverse back to all-time highs and beyond, you're looking just at all-time highs about 10x. So let's see where this goes. I'm assuming it'll be some sort of news narrative that would make that do that. Is it still bigger than Solana on GitHub in rankings?
Probably yes. Probably.
Right, okay.
I think they are. I think they have got more competition now. There's a lot more frameworks now than there were.
Yeah.
Let's talk more about this forced selling that you just breezed over. What do you mean by that? Do you mean that there's some big holders who are
So this kind of
maneuvering
ties
the
into
price?
topic 3, whale hunting. So whales or big institutions / market makers will force prices down on assets either they like or to liquidate someone that's maybe in some sort of long. Now, when market makers liquidate someone either the long or the short side, they obviously capture whatever this whale's stop loss or take profit. Their stop loss was effectively in this scenario, banking them a quick buck. So you can normally see what is structured selling, and you can also kind of see this on the S&P. Where we are with, if we go to the daily, you can see this has been very structured selling. Like we've been going down, bounce, sell, down, bounce, sell. When normally we have these, like it looks awful. Like these drawdowns normally look like absolute crap. Like there's no structure to them at all. Even if you go all the way back to the start of the bear market of 22, over here, normally it's just big red candles selling because everyone's going, shit, I've got to get out of it, smashing the sell button. Oh my God, it's down 20%. Just get me out. I don't care what price it is. Where it is, and it also sometimes you leave gaps like this. whereas that is literally people just puking their positions because they're down 20, 30 for whatever it is percentage, and they just want out. They don't care what price they get. So you can kind of see this stuff when you look at charts enough within the market, but this to me is very structured. Like even on these gaps up here, like there's small gaps created in the market. It's a bit of hype. Even in this drawdown here, you had gaps lower because people were panicking. There's been none of that in here at all. Like not a single candle since the 9th, February the 19th, even though Twitter has been mega bearish, has gapped lower and left a gap to be filled. We haven't seen any of that. So,
conspiracy theory time, or you think it just happens, natural market movement?
I don't know. I would class that as manipulated selling. Obviously, people can believe that it is or it isn't. But if you watch this space enough, I believe you see it when it happens.
Yeah.
I could be totally proven wrong by any metric. I'm not saying it's 100% a thing, but it's something that I believe still happens to this day. And kind of proof of that is this whale hunting that we've kind of been seeing on X. So I'll get the post back up quickly, which ties into this. So this one here. This whale managed to turn a profit despite being hunted by a team. So 11 hours ago, this guy publicly formed a team to hunt this whale who shorted BTC with 40x leverage. So what does that mean? 40x leverage. If this guy's been using $1 million, he's basically using 40 mil at his disposal. Just 1 hour later, the team was in action, driving Bitcoin above 84.69. In a short period, the whale was forced to deposit another 5 million USDC to increase his margin and avoid liquidation. The hunt ultimately failed. The whale continued to increase his position to short Bitcoin. Currently, the whale is profiting from closing the position through TWAP. His current position is 5,406 Bitcoin, currently priced at just shy of $500 million, with an unrealized profit of 4.4 million. And you can obviously see his address and various other things here.
Do you think he's in a bit of a precarious position? Because what if the market moves up by itself?
Well, see, that's the thing. If it was market makers, they would have done it. Like, they have the ability to do it. They are the likes of Binance, Coinbase, Kraken, these big guys.
Yeah, Wintermute, I think one of the big ones.
Yeah, Wintermute is one of the biggest. Like, they work with obviously the biggest exchanges. Now, if you're just forming a team of X users, like, your capital is obviously very limited. Not to say that, because these guys, for all I know, might be multi-billionaires.
Yeah.
So they could just be fucking around and trying to get this guy gone. But I think if this was Wintermute or whatever it is hunting him, he'd be gone.
Yeah.
I don't think an extra 5 mil would have saved him.
No.
So we see this pretty much every month in the crypto space, either on the long or the short side, don't we?
What was the name of that that Twitter user?
It was at CBB0FE. He's a liquidity provider, or in his bio it says liquidity provider, DeFi enjoyer, NFT boomer. So he obviously participates in a lot of all this stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's quite interesting that people actually have enough spare time to go out, build a team, and then try and hunt a whale.
Basically, it shows. He says that they've lost. He said that the hunt had begun, but they didn't get him.
Yeah, it's mental, isn't it?
It's quite good fun.
I mean, how much money would they have actually burned just trying to hunt that guy?
I don't know, because I guess they're taking up a position, so it's only burnt once you've sold it, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I suppose it depends how many people in the team as well, because if there's 10 of them in the team,
then it's a lot more.
Yeah, shared equally. So it wouldn't be as big a generic loss.
Yeah.
But yeah, that is kind of what whale hunting is. A whale is someone that's classed as or has enough assets to move markets effectively. So if it's a small token, or I mean, Bitcoin in this case, you need to be massive
Yeah.
to move its price. You can't just come in. Say you went to some meme coin like Mr. Miggles, for example, but you had 10 mil you wanted to buy. You're gonna move that like
Yeah.
mad. So
Yeah.
you'd be doing it in clips of like 10 grand or whatever it is, and that'd take you forever. But you wouldn't move the market as
I
much.
think I think sometimes when you've got too much liquidity, that there are certain assets you just can't buy, and that was
Yeah,
the problem with Bitcoin for a long time. Was that the
yeah,
institutions, they wanted to get in, but there just wasn't the liquidity there, and you
yeah.
get in and you're stuck, or you have to
They
move
could
the
only
price.
drip feed it in,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah.
Um,
Which
right, we may as well move on to the final and last topic, money mindset. Now, do you have any words of wisdom from your years in the space of just generic money mindset when it comes to crypto specifically?
um, I don't really. None that are not cliche. I think now, times like now, I think your main mindset must be protect your capital, I
Yeah,
would say. But we're coming very close to switching the risk on again, because
yeah,
we switched the risk on at the start of the year. Everybody got smashed in the face, and most people have switched their risk back off. But now it's time to, I guess, switch your risk back on. But that was all a case of protecting your principal. By that, what I mean is your initial amount that you put in, and it's difficult because sometimes you shouldn't panic sell, but at the same time, you have to protect your principal. So you have to kind of, in your mind, know that if your assets value falls so far, then you have to get out
yeah,
and consider getting back in earlier or lick your wounds.
yeah. I mean, I just did a rough search on X earlier, and I've cut a couple of notes just for mindset sort of things. And it's broke people trade their time for money. Rich people will buy time. So, and if you think about it, and you look at the likes of Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, they have hundreds of thousands of employees. Why? To buy them time to do what they like best.
Yeah.
Mark Zuckerberg loves, is it karate and something like that? So he does that. Jeff Bezos likes cruising around on his yacht, so do that. So it's kind of just switching that money mindset from okay, need to get to work, going to do all the overtime. Like to start off, that is great. That's a great work ethic. You should definitely do it. But once you get to a point where you can start hiring people to do that stuff for you, and to maybe increase your client base or whatever it is, you look at trying doing that because ultimately that frees you up more time to do what you want, be it spend it with loved ones and friends and travel, whatever it is you want to do.
I think we've got a new tool for that, which is AI. I think AI
Yes,
now makes a 4 hour job.
and it's cheap.
Yeah, makes a 4 hour job a half an hour job, and
Yeah,
yeah, and it is cheap. So I think AI is probably the new tool that can add to people's freedom in its own way. But I guess the counter argument always is when you delegate, you give yourself another, I don't know, 3 4 hours every day. Often you can find ways to fill it with more work,
yes,
which is generally my problem. Now I've got this AI that does everything super quick for me, but it just means that I'm just getting more stuff done. So now I'm just
yeah,
blasting through stuff. So
yeah. I mean, there's a couple of other things. So another one is broke people avoid risk. Millionaires are made by taking risk or managing risk.
yeah, all day.
Broke people save. The rich focus on earning.
Yep.
Broke people fear failure and losing money, whereas millionaires see it as a learning curve and will learn from their mistakes. And I found a couple quotes that I actually thought were quite good as well. You are the average of the five people you spend the most time with, and people who don't take risk work for people that do.
Yes.
Now that last one, only come up because I was watching a podcast today, and I thought that's actually a perfect quote to mention on
That's
this
it,
money
and
mindset
and
topic.
it's so true. Like I always
Very
say,
true.
to everybody, like turn your risk on. You have to be taking as much risk as possible. You just have to be, because if you're not taking risk, then you're dead. Like inflation's gonna gobble you up. You got no chance. You
Currency
have to take
debasement
risk.
as well. Like you end up just being screwed.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
I think that's the biggest hurdle. I think anyone getting into like just generic finance space, be it stocks, crypto, whatever, is the fear of losing money. Like losing money or taking a educated loss, is the way I kind of look at it. If you need to, is all part and parcel of it. If you
yeah,
have to cut a position for a 20 to 30% drawdown because you think actually, or let's say for example, I think we're going into an early bear, I want to take 20 to 30% of that off now. I don't want to do it 2, 3 months down the line when we're down another 20%. Like, what's the point? You may as well just clear it now.
yeah,
Um, so I think people just got to go over that first hurdle. And to be fair, losing money isn't that bad. Like you should only really be invested sensibly to what you can afford to lose. Like for me now, if I lost everything in the markets, I'm still going to have a decent paying job. I'm still going to be eating food. I'm still going to have a roof over my head. I'm still going to have a car. I can still go to the gym. Like nothing really changes. It's not the end of the world. So I think it's just people, to be honest, not risk managing themselves rather than the actual fear of losing it.
yeah, and
Is the
and
issue.
and that's I think that's a bigger problem and a more difficult problem to overcome. It is that
Yeah,
fear, and losing it sucks. It's horrible. Like
yeah,
you lose money and you can sulk about it for days, and you can feel like, oh, I can't believe, like my $2 entrance on AI16Z. Now I look back at it now. Well, had I have sat in it, I'd be 90% down.
yeah.
Furious, but
But you cut it early.
cut it. Well, yeah, not early enough, but it's now an entrance point, and
Yeah,
so help me, I might lose more money on AI16Z because I'm thinking, right, now it's time to get back in, because the thesis remains the same. And that's often another thing, I guess, for mindset, is that often you're not wrong, sometimes you're just early. So
yeah.
often you may have an idea, okay, this is going to happen, that's going to happen, and it doesn't happen. And it's not because it's not going to happen, it's just because it's not going to happen yet. So
Just the wrong time.
just the wrong time. Yeah, just the wrong time. And I think
Yeah,
that's probably the case with AI16Z and virtuals for me.
yeah.
I don't think it was I don't think it was wrong. I think it was just bad timing.
Yeah. I think they just kind of got caught up in the hype,
Yeah.
didn't they?
Yeah. And
Which is a shame.
whilst they did have moderately high valuations, even at the time it didn't seem like they had sky high valuations, because there
No.
were other things that had higher valuations. But I don't know. I think with AI16Z, I think one of the main problems it had was that the token only really existed for a cabal to own the token. And
Yeah.
when that cabal decided to structured sell, they
Yeah.
structured sold. And,
Yeah.
people lose. But
I don't think that's a bad thing.
yeah, it's a part of the game. It's part of the
Yeah.
game. And I think that's the main thing. I think you've got to switch your risk on. I always say it: switch your risk on and go for it, because
Yeah. And
there's
if you
winners
don't
and
know what to
losers.
do, if you don't know when to switch your risk on over, then you talk to people that may be able to help you, guide you to switch your risk on.
Yeah,
In any sense. Because
yeah,
even because to be honest, switching your risk on could just mean that you start having a budget and savings. Right? It doesn't have to mean that you're putting something in the market. Like you're getting yourself ready to switch your risk on. Like there's
yeah.
periods to get to before you can switch it on.
I think everybody should be doing that though. I think everybody
Yeah,
should be budgeting and everybody should be saving.
yeah,
You should be in a constant state of saving, constant state of preparing your money to go to war for you as it comes into your hands. I think everybody should do that. But I think financial literacy is something that we're deliberately not taught in
yeah.
schools. So
There's a
everybody,
reason why they don't teach it.
yeah, because they want people to go and think month by month. I was
Yeah,
speaking to my cousin and I said to him, like the concept of getting money month by month, that you need to get out of that as soon as possible. As soon as possible, you need to get out of the concept of I need money for this month, because then you're just going to be firefighting your whole life. You need enough time so that you've got a year to 2 years that you can sit down and you can make a plan. Right, this is how I'm going to make money to feed my family. You can spend 6 months making this plan and then 6 months executing it, and it could fail. And then you've still got another 6 months to make another plan, another 6 months to execute it. And no plan takes 6 months to create. And
No.
you generally
Especially
know
not with AI nowadays.
yeah, and you generally know if you're onto a winner or a loser within the first few weeks. So
Yeah. Right, let's get into our market predictions from last week.
oh, I'm going to be shaking my camera all over the gaff now because
So, now go to Crypto Waffle. So kicking it off, where did I don't even know if I actually write them down. Did I write them down? Have
I've
you
got
them
them
written
written
down
down.
there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right, so what did we have for Bitcoin?
Right, for Bitcoin, I had 71,
Okay.
nowhere near,
No.
and you had 72.
Okay, so we went to a low of 76.6. So a tad bearish.
So, effectively, and every week now, at this point in the cycle, it's a case of, are we going to be, is it going to be a bearish week or not? And if it's a bearish week, then we get everything right. If it's a bullish week, we get everything right, if we've gone that way. And I think we'll find that this week we went too bearish. So, yeah, so
No,
I'm
I
at
was literally
71.
saying that last week, didn't I? I was saying, I think we're going to be due a bounce, but
But we did it. We've kind of chopped, haven't we? But we've not really done much this week.
Yeah, we have. I mean, where were we last Monday? We were literally down at 77k, 78, weren't we?
Yeah, as we was talking, yeah, we went down that way.
So maybe that's why we thought we were going lower.
But we have, I would say, I'd call this a bounce.
Yeah.
Just not a massive one.
Straight into resistance though, the minute that we haven't been able to poke our head up above 85, we just keep getting hammered.
Yeah, which is strange.
But yeah, both wrong on
Although
that.
looking at
What about ETH? Where were we?
oh, just looking at these, just looking at these trending tokens at the moment on, looking at these trending tokens. Well, first of all, Ondo's on a charge just today because I shorted it. But more importantly, I'm looking at Pancake Swap, which is up 40% in the last 24 hours.
Oh, really?
The biggest DEX on Binance.
Interesting.
Yeah. Okay. So what's next? Next we went for ETH.
ETH.
Yep.
What did we say?
Again, I said 1,500. Nowhere near.
Okay. No. And what did I say? 1.6, wasn't it?
Yeah, you said 1,600.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Well off.
Nowhere near.
No, not looking good this week. Right.
No.
Maple or syrup. Again, this one got listed on Coinbase actually over the last week, which is why we saw it go up to around $18 to $20.
So I said 9.
What did I say? 10?
10. You said 10.50.
10.50. Right. Yeah. Not good this week.
Well, are we 0 for 6?
We are, yes, 0 for 6.
I think you're going to be happy. I think you're going to be happy with this next one though. Ondo.
Right, what did I say?
I said 60 cents, and I made it my.
That was down here.
I made it my choice one as well. It was, and that was the one that I put my short on. You said 92.
So we are currently at 87, give or take.
We were at 80 at the time. So
there's 92.
We'll give you half a mark.
Yeah, I'll take half.
We'll give you half a mark for that. Finally, whiff.
It looks like one of us is correct. Now, who is that?
I think we're both. Well, I think we're both correct, aren't we? I said 50.
Oh, yes, we are. Yeah, and the other one was 52. Is that correct?
Yeah, 53.
We hit a high of 52.79. So literally fractions of a cent off.
The thing is, right, so here's where we are quite good. All right. So we knew everything was going bearish, but we knew that which is the one I should have put thing on actually. Was the one that we knew was due a bounce.
Yeah.
That was the one that we knew.
Because I think I was also saying that Ondo looks like it could bounce.
Yes.
Last week, wasn't I?
Yes.
But
because I think I'd begrudgingly done Ondo because Maple was not on
Hyperliquid.
Hyperliquid, which ended up being lucky because Coinbase came along and would have just got me liquidated. So
yeah.
So that's worked out fine.
Right, so what do we want to do this week? Bitcoin, to keep it ETH?
Or Sol?
Yeah, we can switch it up for Sol.
Yeah. Right, so we'll do Bitcoin.
Yeah, we'll get Bitcoin,
We'll do
Sol.
Sol. I want to do AI16Z.
Yeah. AI16Z. And I'll do ARC. I like ARC.
ARC has been so volatile. It's always trending.
Which meme do we want? Should we do Doge? The biggest of all?
Oh, big old Doge. We done whiff last week, didn't we? Yeah, let's do Doge. Let's do Doge. And let's put in whopping longs because we're gonna will this alt season alive. Not Doge.
Yeah. Right. So Bitcoin, where do you think we will be next Monday? Obviously, this week is probably one of the most volatile weeks we will have this year, I would say, probably the most volatile week of the year so far.
Why is that?
I think is FOMC.
When's that?
On Wednesday or the Thursday, and then we also have the March OPEX on the Friday. I would have preferred it to have been the other way round. March OPEX being first, but it's not.
Let's see. FOMC dates are.
I want to say it's Thursday. No, actually Wednesday. I think there might be some sort of job data coming out on the Thursday.
Oh yeah, it says 18th and 19th stars. Oh, this is last year.
Is it on the Thursday or the Wednesday?
I can't see it. I can't find it.
Let me see if I can have a look.
Yeah. I should ask Perplexity. Let me ask AI. When is the next FOMC?
Blah blah blah. Nothing important there. Yeah, we got FOMC interest rate decision on the Wednesday with the Fed Powell speech.
Oh, yeah, the statement's on the second day, so it's Thursday.
Yeah, and then on Thursday we got initial jobs claims, and then Friday is the 21st, which is the March OPEX. So the only real ones of interest is the Wednesday, which is Fed Powell's FOMC, and his conference speech after, and then the Friday.
Well, we can find out what Powell is doing on Wednesday already. If we just go, I'm going to share my screen and show you.
Close sharing. Yeah,
You're
not sharing, am I?
You're not sharing, no.
Sweet.
So I'm going to share my screen.
Was I just sharing?
No, you won't. I'm going to show you. This is how I find out what Powell's going to do just before he does it. Fed.
Or the odds of what Powell's going to do.
Yeah, but these guys are always right. Fed decision in March. It's going to be no change, isn't it? Yeah, there you go. So it's 99% no change. So if he does anything that's not no change, people are going to make a killing. Yeah, massive surprise. So the markets have basically priced in no change. What has happened before, though, not when it's been 99%, but what has happened before is that on the day, this was back summer time, on the day, the odds would shoot up in a different direction, like towards the winning one on the day, because people obviously got the news, however they got the news before he he actually goes and says it. But yeah, in this one, so we know we can save ourselves the time. We know the Thursday's going to be nothing.
Yeah, it'd just be another speech of, oh, we're going to wait for more data.
Yeah. Because Polymarket's told us. What was the other one you wanted to check? The jobs.
Yeah, initial jobs claimed, I think it was.
How many jobs added in March?
Yeah, there might be that one.
Oh, okay.
Tight.
Yeah, so this is news. This one matters.
I don't think that'll be massive, though, to be honest. I don't think markets will.
Well, at least it's something that we don't know.
Yeah.
At least this one's something that we don't know. So depending on what numbers people want to see, the consensus is actually close for once.
Yeah.
So I guess that one. I'm interested in that one. I'm interested when there's something to be like.
It's tight.
Yeah. So okay. So where were we?
Right, back to chart. Where do we think? Am I sharing again? Yeah.
Yep.
Where's Bitcoin going?
I think we're just going to go sideways. But I have to go one way or another, don't I?
I think we're coming back down to lower boundaries. I'm going to say we could definitely see 78. Just because we're back resistance and we've kind of married it.
I don't know. Right. If we go up to 90. If we go down, we go down.
I think we could still go up to maybe call it 86. But ultimately, I don't think we get past this box yet.
You don't think we get out of there, no?
Not just yet. If we were like the second week of March, as if this week had already happened and we were in next week, then I'd say yeah.
Yeah.
But we're still uncertain.
I think we go up.
Yeah, where do you think we're going?
I'm gonna say 90. And the reason why I'm gonna say 90, and I'm gonna go back to being bullish, is because I don't think that Trump's tariff talks really matter now.
No, I think people have kind of sussed.
Yeah.
Right, so that is Bitcoin. You are 90k and I am at 78. Now, Sol, where do you think we're going?
This is good because now we've got a proper variance on what we're going for. So someone's going to get 5, someone's going to get none.
Sol's quite tight. I think we've got resistance up here at 135, and you've got support from around the 120 to 112.
Sol's got a cover. Right,
I'm going to stick with mine in bearish bias and go 115.
All right.
It's not much of a move, to be honest. Should I choose more?
No, that's enough. That's enough. I'm gonna go with one. Go up to that where that red starts to go down from. A bit further down. No, a bit further down. Yeah. Okay. 145. I'm gonna go with. Is that enough of a move? Yeah. I guess that's 15 in the other direction.
Yeah, it's 15 in the other direction.
So 10% either way.
Yeah. I think that's a fair move. LI16Z, where do you think we're going?
Can they push it back down again? I think they can.
I'm going to go for where my limit order is set at 115.
Yeah.
I'm going to say we maybe just get shoved down to that and we bounce.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Because that organised sell-off that we can clearly see there, there's no way they've just surrendered that now. There's a tool called Bubble Maps which
There is. Yeah.
have just released their own token, which is doing pretty well. Where you can often see how concentrated a token is.
Does it show you straight on there, does it?
Yeah. It's old though. You got to pay to go premium. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna
Stick
go.
with your bullish thesis?
No, not with AI 16Z. I don't think
Come
this
back
one's
down.
following the market. Yeah, I think this one's coming back down. Yeah, I think this one's coming back down.
Where do you think we're going?
I'm gonna say 15.
15 as well, yeah?
Yeah.
Perfect. Right. ARC.
Oh.
Where do you think this one's going?
Arc
See
sellers
here,
as
I was
well.
looking for a bottom here, where I just deleted that little yellow thing.
Yeah.
That's where I thought we might bottom.
Ripped through that.
Yeah.
Big volume on that green candle there though. Someone likes it at that price.
Next week, so we got Monday, so you have FOMC, that's Friday, no, Wednesday, and options, because crypto is the only thing that's going to trade over the weekend.
I'm gonna go 10 cents, you know.
I was actually going to go to the upside as well. I was going to say 8.5.
Yeah. You know, I don't like to do things by half measures, so let's go for a big bullish 10.
10 cents, yeah?
Yeah.
Lovely stuff. Oh, why is it asking me for text? 10 cents. There we go. And finally,
What did you go with? 8?
8.5. The big daddy of them all, Doge.
Do we have lift off this week or not? Is the question.
I don't know. If we are to go back down to the lows, that is around about an 18% move.
I think we take off.
Yeah?
I think we take off. I'm going to say 22.
22 cents.
22 cents.
Mega bullish.
Mega bullish.
So that is up here.
Yeah. So here's my thesis now. Here's my bullish thesis. Everybody knows that Doge is going soon.
Yeah.
The money men, they can't wait. They're not going to pick up. They're not going to bend down in front of the steamroller to pick up nickels. They're going to take Financial Navigator's advice and they're going to all hop aboard the Doge train. And
They're all going to trade their Bitcoin for Doge.
Everybody knows it's happening. It's just a question of who's going to wait the longest for the lowest price. And
I'll tell you what, I'm going to stick with my bearish. I'm going to go 15.
You're making a mistake.
I may well be. But I will stop sharing so you can now share the Hyperliquid.
Oh, yes.
Because we need to put our trades on and see where we're at.
Well, we need to take our trades off from last week.
Yes.
Let me share.
Are we hanging in the profit here?
I know I'm not.
I think I shorted ETH, didn't I? But I can't remember what price we shorted it at.
You should be nice. Obviously, we are working together as a team, so...
Yeah. That's alright, you saved me last week, so hopefully I'll save you this week.
Yeah, fingers crossed, because... Damn. Right, so... Oh no, we're both doing badly.
Not looking good, bruv.
Not looking good. But do you know what? I think ETH, you just didn't hit your your target. and it's come back. Okay, so I've done terribly. I'm down 30%, and you're down thing. So we are down a massive $26 overall.
Yeah, not looking good.
All right, so let's close these two at market price. Take our hits.
Take our money. So this is losing money, guys. This goes back into the mindset bit. It's okay to lose money.
Okay, so we are now back down to $85.
Yeah.
We were up to 100 and something. Now we're.
Was it 116?
Yeah, we were.
Something like that.
We were triple. We were three-figure heroes, and now we're down to two-figure scrubs. So, which one of your predictions would you like to put on today, sir?
Could I do a limit order? So, me being on the bearish side this week, I would like to place a limit order lower. If we come back in, it tags, then we go to one of your targets, maybe.
Okay.
Could we do that?
Yeah, I guess we could. Yeah. So, on which one?
I would like to do that on Sol. So if we can set a limit order for 115.
Right, let's go.
And then we can set a take profit at 145. And then I think we could have a stop loss at, call it 100.
Okay. Right. Let's. We've got 85 to play with. How much should we do?
Just do 50-50 again?
Yeah, let me. Where's my. How do I get into Sol? What is going on here? There we go.
So that way I'm trying to play both of our targets. And if the limit is to get executed, we obviously get a better entry.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we are doing a limit. The price of 115.
Yeah, correct.
And then we're going to buy. We're going to do a long at 115.
Yeah.
With how much?
50%.
Half.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Roundabout. Can you not just type in the percentage where it says 40?
I can, yeah, I can. What leverage shall we do? 3x?
Yeah, stick it on
Or
3.
20?
We can't change it. No, we can't change it now.
Um. 1.1 Sol. 3x. Right, okay, so what should we put as our take profits and what should we put as our stop loss?
Take profit is your target of 145. And then stop loss I was going to have at, let's do 98.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah. Place my order. You know what I like about these is that I don't actually track it myself. So when we get to next Monday, I'm like, oh, where are we? I forgot what we did.
I can't believe we both done so badly. I thought that we had one of us bailed us out this week.
I think it's because when we did it, we were literally at the lows, weren't we?
Mm.
I mean, and ETH hasn't really moved.
We did say at the time, we was like shorting after a come down is not a good idea.
Yeah. Yeah, we thought we could see continuation, but hadn't done.
Okay, so
Which one are you doing yours on?
You what, sorry?
Which one are you going to do yours on?
I wonder if I can do ARC. ARC won't be on here, will it?
I wouldn't have thought AI16Z or ARC would be on there, to be honest.
AI AI16Z is on here.
Oh, it is.
Have I gone bullish on that? No, I've gone bearish.
You could do one like me, where you set a limit lower. See
Yeah.
if you get the
Okay.
fill.
Okay.
And then up.
So I'll do it at 15.
Yeah.
And if we hit 15, then we'll go up to, I'll take profit at 25 or 30.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Okay.
I think 30 is a bit of a stretch.
Yeah. I like to put it out there. I like to go
I
for
think
it.
25 on my chart is a very good level to be having the TP at.
Right, okay. So TP at 25 or 25.
And where would you have your stop?
10?
Yeah, I think that's
Too
fair
low.
enough. No, I think that's all right because you're entering at 15, aren't you?
Yeah. Enter at 15. That changes everything. Put it at 100%. Oh, excuse me. Leverage 3x.
Yep, 3x.
I really want to put it at 5 and above. Such a degenerate.
Risk management, guys. Risk management.
Yeah. Don't be like me. Don't be like me. Right, why can't I buy this here? Not enough. There we go. Oh, it's moved all the things now. Take profit was at 25, did we say?
Yeah.
Yeah. And stop loss was at 10.
Yeah.
Oh, why is it not letting me do that? Let's place order.
And insufficient margin. Maybe if you do like 95% or 90%.
Yeah, let's do 98%.
There we go. Right, so our limit orders may get triggered.
Yeah.
Let's hope so.
Yeah, so where's our open orders? Yeah, there we go. So we need for our soul to get triggered, we need to go down to 115.
Yeah.
And for our AI16 to get triggered, we need to go down to 15.
Yeah. Fingers crossed.
Yeah. I think this is a much better way to do it as well, you know.
What, having something trigger rather than just enter where we are?
Yeah.
Okay, we can edit it from now on if you want.
Yeah, I like it this way. But the problem is, then a lot of the time we won't even be active because we might not.
Yeah, we might. Unless we both decide on, so 1 week one of us does the limit and the take profit, then another week the other one does the market.
Yeah.
We'll both try it. We'll both try it this time. See how we get on.
Yeah.
And then we'll continue next time.
Brilliant.
Right. Until next time, everybody. Stay safe. Adios.